What is up, everyone? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at an insanely broken build. This build is crazy. Ags on Phantom Assassin is ridiculous. The fact that it lets you dispel and disjoint certain projectiles makes this Ags crazy good. And I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know how to implement this in today's video. This is something that Arteezy has been doing quite consistently. If we look at his recent games, you can see there's quite a few Ags, right? In the last 6 of them, there was 4. So clearly this item has a lot of viability. And without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Well, actually, there is a little bit of further ado. I just want to say if you guys could smash the like button as per usual, you guys have been great. I'm not going to say, let's go for 3,000 likes, that's a lot. But if we could go for 2,000, I think we definitely can do that together. You guys have been awesome as of late. And I really appreciate when everyone in the community just bands together to help out the boys at gameleap. Also, you want to consider signing up to the gameleap website? You know, I'd love to see you there. We have great content we're posting every single day. No, it's not the YouTube content, right? It's more, extra, often even better. And therefore, you should sign up down below. Click the link right now. And I hope to see you guys there. Alright, so the first thing I want to note about this build, and a lot of the games that Arteezy has been doing, is that he doesn't buy Wraith Bands. Now, this is kind of weird because Wraith Bands on heroes like PA and Jug and all these agi carries were seemingly mandatory, but they've actually started to fall off. There's a lot of players who don't feel like Wraith Bands are nearly as good anymore, and therefore they're opting for items such as Wand and Treads as a replacement. Now, the beginning of the early game is very simple for PA, nothing has really changed. Essentially, all you want to do is get to your Battle Fury and take a bunch of stacks, take a bunch of camps, split push with Blur, spam your Blink Strike as much as you possibly can, and so on. And from there, you're going to start working towards your Ags where things really start to get spicy, and let's skip ahead towards that. So Arteezy ended up dying twice before he actually got to the Ags. You know, when you have that Battle Fury, you're still not that strong. You know, it's still very hard to fight. Your hero is extremely squishy and dies to magical damage. And the enemy team has quite a lot of it, right? Morphling is mostly magical early on. Ember is mostly magical. Marana, Avenge, Train, they're all magical, primarily. And therefore, he took a couple spills in the early game. But now that he has his Ags, he's unstoppable. Now, you might be asking Speed, what does the Ags do? Do not worry, guys. I'm here for the rescue. So what it does is it upgrades Blur. It causes Blur to have instant cast time, so it instantly goes off, and it applies a dispel. So it's basically like you're getting Abaddon shielded. Now, you cannot dispel stuns, to be clear. You cannot get gripped and blur out of it. That does not work. But if it is a long-range projectile, you can completely dodge it. Right? You just make it miss. If you are changed by an Ember Spirit, you purge it. If you are overgrowthed by a Treant, you purge it. And anytime you get a hero kill, your abilities are refreshed. Not just Blur, all of your abilities are refreshed. So you can go from kill to kill to kill to kill and purge everything you need to. It's really strong. The only downside is that you lack a little bit of damage, so it's very important that you use Blur properly to make sure that you're staying mobile. And our first example of it is right here. Arteezy is playing like a madman. He's going on an Ember. This is typically a terrible matchup. However, he's got the Axe, and he's 5 level above the guy, so, you know, of course you can go on him and just mess with him a little bit. Now in this fight here, you can see how crazy this actually is. Not only does he disjoint just the Venge stun, which you'll see in a second, he actually just disjoints a bunch of things. So, first things first, the stun is coming in, clicks the Blur, goes away, it just disappears. It just makes it miss because you smoke, and apparently that's how this spell works. If you use it at the right time, it's just a Manta dodge, which is crazy. Right, it's crazy. A 10-second cooldown on basically a Manta dodge. Now he gets gone on here, but a lot of people don't realize this or didn't even know this was changed, but at level 15, PA gets a 350 Phantom Strike cast range talent, which makes Phantom Strike a ridiculous cast range. If I just hold it open here, it can go that far. So from here to here, he could jump the Marana, right? And that's why from the tree line, he could actually jump this creep. And now the enemy team, you might be saying, Speed, why aren't they turning for him immediately? Isn't this an immortal game? Well, the reason for that is he was still blurred. And the blur just wore off now, but he was still blurred, so they don't realize. The Marana literally throws the arrow. And it's crazy. And now you might be saying, oh, surely he has to run away. He's a PA with no BKB. Absolutely not. Right? The overgrowth, funny enough, is actually going to come out, but it doesn't matter. He clicks Blur, and it dodges the overgrowth and the Venge stun, which is crazy. And then, of course, all you have to do is frontline. You're actually very, very tanky with the Wand. He also has an Aquila, which is a great neutral item, and you can sort of chip away. Now, you don't necessarily do some insane amount of damage as he purges the chains and more spells from the Treant, but you can see that the goal here is to pick off the supports. With the help of the cast range talent at level 15, you can go on whoever you want, so you should have no problem finding the targets that you can actually burst, and that's the power of this current build. Let's take a look at another example where the Ags actually puts in work. So he's currently Roshing, has a DD, obviously very beneficial. He's going to be going for the Manta next, and the purpose of this is just so you're unkillable. Really, the goal here with his build is to essentially get to the point where you can dispel anything, and it's really hard for the enemy team to actually find you and figure out which one is real, or, you know, even just reveal you on the map. After all, you're blurred, which essentially means you're constantly smoked. And so you can see in this fight here, all he has to do is look for the backline, right? It's very, very easy, and executing on PA is currently easier than ever due to this talent. So he finds the Venge, leads in with the Blink Strike, follows up with the Dagger, and gets the kill. After that, he can jump onto the Ember Spirit with one dagger and a crit. The Ember is dead. Now he does have a DD, which, you know, amplifies this a lot, but the Treant drops the Overgrowth. He instantly can blur, which purges it out, jumps onto the Treant, and gets another kill. And of course, after he kills the Treant, because the Ags gives him another Blink Strike, he's on to the next target. And that's why you can go from target to target to target. And if you get ahead with this build, you are guaranteed rampages. Obviously, I'm not serious, but you guys kind of get the point, right? You sort of are likely to get rampages just for the pure fact that you can go from target to target and on a 0-second cooldown, essentially, if you're killing each person. One thing also to note is once you get the Ags, and kind of just whenever you're playing PA Battle Fury in general, make sure you're spamming it as much as possible to farm. I think a lot of players underestimate the importance of actually staying off the map, staying out of vision, and keeping the enemy team scared. Obviously, they have to be very afraid of this PA, and so whenever he doesn't show, he kind of gives his team the ability to just feel a lot more safe, and the enemy team has to be a lot more afraid as they pick up another Ember kill with the help of the Silence from the Night Stalker and the Blink Strike. And you can see, the most important thing about Arteezy's gameplay here is that his camera is always shifting forward. In the Roche fight, it shifted forward for Revenge. Now in this fight right here, as he's going on the Morphling, auto-attacking the Morphling, he knows he can't kill the Morphling, just from intuition, just from experience. He knows he can't kill the Morphling, and so what does he do? Waits for the Mirana, jumps ahead. Obviously, she ends up going invis, but his camera was shifting up and instantly finds the support, right? Overgrowth comes out and he purges it. Why can he do it that fast? It's because he knows and has a mental note of every spell he can purge. If you don't do this before the fight, you're going to struggle. It's the same thing with using items. If you don't remind yourself, you know, unless you've played thousands and thousands of games of Dota, if you don't remind yourself what items you have and what their uses are, you're going to forget to use them, right? It's very hard to remember. And with the help of the blur, you really want to cut a lot of creep waves, right guys? Anytime you have the ability to just push in a wave while your team is pushing bottom, go push in mid. If they're pushing top, push in mid. If they're pushing mid, go top. Cut waves. The enemy team doesn't know you're there, and especially if you're, you know, not super high MMR, right? You're going to be able to do this quite freely and consistently, and you'll just get huge. And the greatest thing about this version of PA is the fact that once you have Aegis, you can end the game very effectively. Right, so what's the game plan when you have Aegis? Do you want to instantly run high ground? Not necessarily, but you want to instantly look for a pick-off. That's the big thing. You don't want to siege with this version of PA. PA in general is awful at sieging. She does very little tower damage. And so what you want to do is what Arteezy does here. He straight up walks up the high ground looking for a pickoff. Why does he do it so early here? Because he expected the enemy team to be in the area and he understands that he's unkillable. Usually this is a bad play, but in this case, when you're this strong, this far ahead, have Aegis, that's a very important note, have Aegis, you can invade the enemy base, walk up, and hope whoever is going to defend the wave will be an easy pickoff. In this case, the Ember actually walks up. His team clearly synergized the jump. They're able to get a nice little double kill, and with the help of the Blink Strike, they win the fight before the enemy team can even respond. Right? They weren't even able to come back and defend yet. That's how good this can be. And I know this was a shorter video for everyone watching, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this gives you some perspective as, oh my gosh, he dodges another Venge Stun. It's so miserable for certain heroes to play against his Hags. Make sure you do understand and you get a mental note of what it actually works against. Otherwise, you might just buy the Ags and it won't be particularly useful. But if they have a lot of things you can purge, or you just want to kite around the edges of the fight, it's great. But I hope this video helped. Hope it gives you some insights on how to use this Ags properly, on how to play PA in general, and why I think this hero is definitely very good in low more pubs right now. I think a build like this, while it might seem greedy, is just very effective at killing off supports. And if you get in the habit of killing supports who are buying things like Dagons and Aether Lens and all these greedy items, Blink Daggers, you're just going to win the fight for your team instantly. So get down that target priority, go with this PA build, and you should be able to pop off and buy a Divine Rapier at minute 33. And yeah, I wasn't kidding about the rapier. He actually bought a rapier. I don't think it's that bad, by the way. If this is a more normal game and they aren't about to end, what you want to do is get this rapier timing and then go Roche. And if you have an Aegis and this rapier timing with 2 different dispels, you basically kill anybody you want. And it's a lot of fun. You can see this Venge instantly dies. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Get your Game Leap subs. Become broken today. It's in the link below. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're gonna see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.